Hello everyone, this is Clint Seeley with another screen recording. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to create some really cool shapes using the Polygon tool in the art canvas. We're then going to convert those shapes to embroidery digitizing. Instead of actually making shapes and actually digitizing using the tools inside the embroidery canvas, we're going to switch to the art canvas because there's some really powerful tools that come with Corel Essentials. Now, as you know, in this latest V6 version of the embroidery software, the designer software, they are plugging into the Corel engine. It's very powerful. And so I think we should start learning to use Corel Draw to make our shape. So I'm going to start teaching y'all how to make things using the tools in Corel Draw. Then we'll easily convert those things to embroidery digitizing. We're going to start off with some simple shapes. So when we open up the program, by default, it always opens us up in the embroidery canvas. Let's just go ahead and switch and left click on the art canvas, and we're now going to move into design mode and graphic mode. So here we are with a blank canvas. I'm just going to demonstrate the Polygon tool. If we hover our mouse over this tool right here, you see as you hover over it, a little box pops up that says rectangle tool. What I want you to do is left click that guy, and then a pop out screen shows up, and then we'll just move to the right until we have selected the Polygon tool. Another way to do that, okay, if we just have our arrow or any other tool highlighted, another way to do that is just hit the Y key. You see how that changes? You just hit the Y key on your keyboard. When you hover over things, the different tools, you can see in the parentheses it shows you the shortcut key. Like this one would be a Y. Then we got basic vector shapes. I don't know if these do it. No, you have to actually select those. But here, the text tool. Okay. As you hover over, its vector lettering is F8. Okay, so if we were on the screen and we hit the old F8, it changes to the text tool. If we hit the Y on the keyboard, it changes to the Polygon tool. So there's usually a couple different ways that you can select a tool. In this particular case, we're going with the Polygon tool, which is Y, or you just hit that pop-out window and mouse over to the Polygon tool and select it. The reason we're working with the Polygon tool is because it's a very powerful tool. You're going to be able to draw some really cool shapes, get very creative in your drawing. You can really just spend hours playing with this tool, learning it, doing different cool things, and you can't really mess anything up. I'll show you. And you don't have to be an artist. We're not doing any actual drawing. We're just manipulating points of the shape. Let me show you. Now we can left click and drag to the side. As we drag to the side, you see your polygon starting to take effect, and it has 5 points. Now when we draw this way, when we just left click and drag, we can do it to where it doesn't actually size to scale as a perfect polygon. In this case, that's what we want to do. We want to make a perfect polygon. So what I'm going to do is just hit the undo, and we're going to start this again, except this time we're going to hold down the control key. And while you're holding the control key down with your finger, and we drag the shape, you see how as you drag the shape, no matter how you drag it, it's going to be perfectly symmetrical. Okay, it's going to size to scale perfectly. You can't skew it one way or another. So here we go. We're just going to make it any size that you want to where you can work with it. Then let go. You let go of the mouse. You take your finger off the control key, and there we go. We have a polygon. Now I want to add some more points to my polygon. Now to do that, if we just mouse up here, you can see this little box right here. This controls the amount of points that are in your shape. I want to go up to 12, so we'll just go up here to the arrow up and left click. See how your shape starts to change in size? We'll go to 12, and now we have 12 points. We have 12 edges to our polygon. I haven't drawn anything. All I've done is click a few things. Okay, now here's where the polygon tool gets really cool. I'm going to then mouse over here and hover over this tool here, which is the reshape vector object. Okay, now with the reshape vector object, we're going to actually reshape, like the name suggests, the shape itself. We're going to do that by grabbing a point. Now you can see these are all different points here, right? We don't want to grab those yet because we still, as you can see, we don't want to grab those yet because the polygon tool is still selected. So we want to go over and hit the left click the reshape vector object. Now our tool has changed. As we mouse back over the screen, excuse me, you can see that the tool itself has changed. Now I want to hover over any of these points, and you can see as you hover over the point, it gets larger in size. I want to do that. Then I want to hold down the control key again because I want to reshape this guy and keep it to scale. Okay, keep it symmetrical all the way around. So hold the control key down, left click and hold your mouse, and start reshaping this tool. Now as we start reshaping this tool, you can see this is turning into like a star. Okay, or we can go out this way, okay, and make it like a sun. And that's what we're going to do. Oops, sorry. Let me get back there. As we're reshaping, I'm going to pop it out and let go. And now what we've done is we've made our polygon tool look like a badge or a sun, or like a burst type of shape, which is really cool. Now I want to make sure that my shape is completely centered with inside the document, because I'm going to duplicate this shape, twist it, and center it so it gives it an even cooler effect, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So to reselect the shape, okay, right here, that's the select graphic. All that's going to do is let you select the graphic. Once that graphic is selected, if you push with your finger the P key on your keyboard, hit P, and you see how it's moved the shape? Here, I'll do it again. I'll move the shape over here. It's not centered. Okay. Then I'm going to hit P. Boom. It's recentered it. Now I want to put a color. I want to make this shape an actual color. So we'll slide over here to the right. When you're selecting colors, you want to, I have loaded my color palette over here on the right hand side. You can see all these colors. Okay. I want to left click a color to fill the shape with that particular color. You would then right click on a color to change the color of the outline. Okay, I'm just going to left click on the old green here. You can select any color that you want, and now I have a green shape. Now as you can see, there's still an outline here. That's going to translate into a running stitch, which I don't want in my design, so I'm going to take the outline away. To do that, I'm going to come over here to this blank box. You see the blank box right there? I'm going to right click, because remember, right click is the outline color. If I right click, the outline goes away. Alright, that's great. So you can see our shape is starting to take effect. What I want to do now is reselect the shape. I'm then going to duplicate this shape. Now an easy way to duplicate the shape is to hold the control key down, and at the same time you're going to hit control D, and D is the shortcut for duplicate, but it's got to be control D. Watch, hold the control down, hit the D, boom, I've created another shape. Now it's a duplicate shape, and it didn't layer it on top of each other perfectly so you could see the shape. I obviously want to change the color of this shape to give it a layered effect, And let's go ahead and make that, I don't know, maybe an orange? Yeah, that's okay. Nah, yellow. Okay, we've made it a yellow. Now you can see the two different shapes are layered on top of each other. And that is displayed here in the color palette. You can see there's a polygon shape, there's a polygon shape. If I want to select the green polygon shape that's underneath the yellow, I could click here. And now it's selected. I can switch back by clicking here. You see how that works? Okay. Really cool. Now I want to center my new yellow polygon shape directly on top of the first shape that I created. To do that, do you guys remember? Hit the P. Boom. Oop. Hit P on the keyboard. And it has layered it on top perfectly. You can't even see the green. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn like a clockwise motion. I want to now turn this top shape. That way we can see a layer effect. I'll show you what I'm talking about. When we have our select graphic object tool on and we click once, we left click once on a shape, you see how our boxes are like this? They're just little solid black boxes. If we click a second time, that changes to little arrows. Now what you can do is you can come up here and grab any of these arrows, and as you move over them, the cursor changes. I want to left click and hold down and then start turning the old shape to where it looks nice. Now see what I've done? Boom, that looks really cool. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select the yellow shape. We're going to hit Control D again. We're going to make another shape. Control D. Boom. Now I want to recolor it, and if you remember, we'll slide over here and hit maybe a blue or a light blue. Yeah, light blue's okay. I want to come out here and click on the shape and hit the P. That centers the shape. Now this time, instead of just turning it, I want to make this shape a little bit smaller. I'll show you. Now, to make it smaller, when our shape is selected and we have the black boxes, remember, now not the rotate, click it again and it goes back to the boxes. And see how that arrow comes up, the cursor changes to that double-ended arrow? That means you can now change the size of that shape. But to do it to scale, okay, and what I mean is if we just left click here and start dragging the shape down, it might not be perfectly symmetrical. Remember how we do that? We're going to hold the control key down, then left click and hold and start dragging down the size of this. Oops, sorry. In this situation, we're going to hold the shift key down, left click, and drag smaller. Okay? So forget I said that. And that looks about right there. Now see how our shape's is starting to take effect? It's starting to look really cool. Starting to look really cool. Okay. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to make this shape actually, I want to turn it into something that can be used as a monogram, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a circle shape in the middle. Alright? In Corel Draw, that's called an ellipse tool. And we're going to find that ellipse tool in the same palette over here. If we left click, the pop-out menu shows up, and then we're going to go to this one. That's the ellipse. And you can see how the cursor has changed. We're then going to move over here in the center, hold the control key down because we want to do it as a perfect circle, and start drawing our ellipse tool. Okay? Let go. We'll then hit the P key. Remember, you hit P and that'll move it back to the center. We keep layering these shapes on top of each other, but we always want to center them. That way everything's perfectly symmetrical. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Maybe I want to make it just a little bit bigger. Okay, do you remember how to do that? We're going to come back to the selection key. Mouse over right here, the little black box, hit the shift key. Make it just a little bit bigger. Hit the P, and that's recentered it. Now I'll show you what I've done. Let's make this maybe a red. I then also want to make sure to take the outline off. Let's right click the outline. Red kind of clashes. Maybe we'll do a different blue, or you do a dark blue or a purple. See, you can keep changing your shape. Okay, let's go with that. So there, we've created a little circle in the middle that we can use to put a monogram on. Now, we're not going to draw the text. We're not going to create the text inside this tool or inside Corel Draw, because the software, the Bernina software, once we move back to the embroidery canvas, has a really good monogramming tool. Okay, so there's no reason to do that. Alright, now there are some more advanced features that I could show you, but I don't want to concentrate on teaching or showing you too many things today. I just want to really stick to the meat and potatoes. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make sure this is the size that we want. And to do that, make sure that your select graphic is on. We'll then we'll left click over here to draw a dotted line box, and let go. We want to make sure everything's selected. Then you can see over here they're all selected. Another way to do that, to select all the objects, is to left click the ellipse here and then go down and hold the shift key and click the polygon tool. That way it selects all the objects between the top and the bottom. They're all selected. Now, right, we want to make sure this is not too big, or it's going to be the size that you want it digitized for. Right now it's about, as you can see right here, it's about 6 by 6. That's a little big for me, so I'm going to resize everything by, remember, hovering over the little black box until the pointer changes to a double-ended arrow. We're going to hold the shift key down. Let's redo that. For some reason the software got tricky on me. Alright, shift, skew it down. There we go. And now it's about a 3 by 3, which is what I want. Then move back in here. Okay, so I've resized it to 3 inches. And everything's selected. As you can see, it's all selected. I'm then going to automatically convert this vector shape to embroidery with the little button over here to the left. See where it says convert to embroidery, that button right there? We're going to left click on it, and the software is going to do its magic, and it should convert everything to embroidery. Okay? Now what we've got here, this little yellow shape, would actually look better if it were a satin stitch of some kind. Okay, now that's something that I can show you. I can easily show you how to do and take care of in more advanced classes, but we're not going to focus on that today. But as you can see, this has been created perfectly. This has been converted to embroidery digitizing. Okay, now, like I said earlier, we want to slap a monogram on this dude. I'll show you how to do that very quickly, and then the lesson will be over. If we go over to the left here, you can see we have a little box for monogramming. Left click that, and a box is going to pop up. Right now, the anniversary font is selected by default because it's the first one that starts with an A. I really like anniversary font. You could select any of these other fonts, but we'll just stick with anniversary. I'm going to left click into this box, and I'm just going to put a C, a capital C for Clint. See how that pops up on the screen? I'm then going to, maybe we'll make it a little bit bigger. Letter height right here, I'm just going to click up a little. There's other ways to make this C bigger. Okay, that looks good, but I don't want it to be blue, so we can change the color right here. What do you think? What's a good color? You think yellow might look good? What about the green? Let's see. There's the green. I'm not going to spend too much time worrying about the color right now. That can be done later. I'm then going to left click this C and just drag it over to where it looks centered. Right on top. And as we scroll out, we can see our completely original design starting to take effect. Now we would of course keep going on to add, to change the density, select different maybe fancy stitch types, underlays, preparing it for a particular type of garment that you're going to put it on. If this is going on a terry cloth towel, you want to do it one way. If it's going on a napkin, that's completely different, or a knit, completely different. Those are more advanced classes. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial, my first tutorial on just playing around with the Polygon tool in the Corel side, okay, or the art canvas, and then easily converting into embroidery software, or embroidery digitizing. Thank you for watching.